Did you know that groundbreaking therapies are reshaping mental health treatment? Among these, psychedelics show exceptional promise, potentially revolutionizing how we address deep rooted psychological issues. In this compelling clip, Matias Serebrinsky, a visionary at Psymed Ventures, discusses the remarkable efficacy of psychedelic therapy. He delves into clinical trials and real world results that reveal how treatments like MDMA and psilocybin are not just alleviating symptoms, but are healing the underlying causes of conditions like PTSD. Discover more in the full episode linked in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this clip. Your engagement helps the team grow and bring more insightful conversations with experts like Matthias to you. Stay tuned for more transformative content.
A great example of interventional psychiatry is psychedelic assisted therapy. So we're seeing in the past, I would argue in the past 15 years, we've seen more and more data and clinical studies showing the potential of psychedelics for the treatment of different mental health disorders. And so in the past few years, what happened is that some of that data that was developed and created in academia has been translated into companies. And so we have an organization called MAPS, which is in phase 3 clinical trials for the treatment of PTSD using MDMA. MDMA is broadly considered a psychedelic, and so they actually just wrapped up their second kind of tier of phase 3 clinical trials, and so very, very soon we'll see the data. And at least in the first stage of this phase 3, the data were amazing, were extremely promising, where 67% of participants remitted. So they didn't have a diagnosis of PTSD anymore. And these were folks that, in some cases, had a diagnosis of PTSD for 10, 15, 20 years. And then almost 80% of participants saw some type of improvement. You just don't see numbers like this in psychiatry anywhere. And so that is kind of like the most advanced example. You have another company that is developing psilocybin for the treatment of depression, and they are in phase 2 clinical trials as well. And so that is an extremely promising area, psychedelics for the treatment of mental health disorders. We have a number of investments in that area, both in companies doing drug development and in companies laying out the foundations and the picks and shovels, the infrastructure for psychedelic therapy to be safe and effectively delivered. The reason why it's interesting and also different than the current paradigm is that you're not just focused on hiding or treating symptoms. You're actually focused on healing people and what's called curative treatments, where what we're seeing is that folks do these treatments 1, 2, 3 times maybe, right? Like they have, in the case of MDMA, it's 3 MDMA sessions, 3 sessions with the medicine. And then you check these folks a year, 2 years later, and they're still in remission. They still don't have kind of like symptoms of PTSD. And so compare that to kind of how the standard of care is today, where folks are taking SSRIs or, broadly speaking, antidepressants forever. It's like a chronic intake to these. And there's a lot to be hopeful for. These people can live fuller, richer lives in a way.
You said 60 to 80% remission. Does that mean they can stop the therapy and taking psychedelics completely and still don't have an episode after that? after
That's
a year.
correct.
Really?
That's correct. Yeah.
I mean, it's a game changer, because what the things that I read about was it's basically a never-ending story. I mean, the alternative that we have now, it's never ending. It's just ongoing.
Yeah, that's what is so promising about it. And as I said, there is an explanation of that, right? Like, you're not just treating symptoms. It's the difference between, you have a fever, you can take ibuprofen or something like that to lower the fever. But if you have an infection, you need to treat that infection, right? To actually cure what's happening. And so that is the kind of like the analogy here. People can actually, in the case of MDMA for PTSD, people can actually re-signify and explore what caused that trauma and heal through that experience, right? And so that is the main thing that can be achieved with psychedelics. But that is not.
Thank you for tuning in to this insightful snippet with Matias Serebrinsky. Your support is crucial in bringing these transformative conversations to life. If you found value in this episode, please like, comment, and share. Your engagement helps the podcast grow and continue to bring in thought leaders like Matias, providing you with more insightful content. Stay connected for more episodes that delve into the evolving world of mental health and beyond. Together, let's explore and understand these critical topics.